Welcome back, guys. So it has been 1 month since the tragedy really that happened. Guadalupe River rose here near us. It was about 50 feet over where it typically is. I wanted to walk down and kind of show you guys how it looks and what we need to do to get it back to usable. It's actually a little dangerous, I feel like, because there's a lot of debris up in the trees. A lot of the trees got covered in mud. Parts of them are dying. The wind's blowing stuff around. We actually had a pretty good storm come through yesterday. So I'd hate to be going through there or hanging out down there and have some debris fall out of trees and land on us or near us or something to that effect. So there's a lot of downed trees. Well, I'll show you when we get there. But first I wanted to walk out and get a glimpse of the snake that's eating our guinea eggs. Well, I guess we're gonna catch a snake right now. What the heck? I was wondering why they weren't in here. You guys see that? Come on, bro. You gotta be freaking kidding me. I was wondering why she wasn't in here. Got her. Freaking jerk. I don't know what he is, but let's get him. Oh, he gone again. All right, let me put these in. This is our little nest. This isn't the guy that was in the coop. He's too small, but man, he's probably got a bunch of eggs in him. Got him. Come here, bro. I don't know what kind of snake you are, and I don't want to find out. Not cool, dude. Not cool. Don't want to remove her eggs or anything. The guineas are usually really good about attacking snakes. They don't like them, but I guess maybe that guy was too big. Well, there's the nest anyway. What's left of it. Guineas are right over here, so they'll come back here in a second. Backed away a little bit, and she's already going back in to get back on her nest, so we're checking on it every day now, maybe even 2-3 times a day. I came down here with the mower and tried to mow everything, tried to keep it low. Well, it already needed to be mowed, then the flood came and it started growing again once the water receded and really needed to be mowed. So we got that done, mowed it all down here. So hopefully it's gonna make it easier to walk down here today. Right here, right where I'm standing. So the river's down there. So the water was all the way up to here. There was some debris right across there, so we could see when we came back, maybe, in fact, that little brush right over there. So the water was all the way to here. If we turn around, then it's about 100 yards from our front gate. So our gate's on the other side of those trees over there. Water line was about 100 yards from our front gate. Our gate's just right over on the other side of those trees right there. And here's where it kind of drops down, this little pasture right here. Doesn't typically get water, and this is where the water really starts, if you will. So everything here was underwater where I'm standing already. This wasn't necessarily crazy, but it definitely kind of pushed a lot of these vines over that weren't here and kind of moved stuff around next to this tree right here, and then washed out a lot of this road. all these divots were here. They just got a lot worse. This tree here got pushed over and now it's on top of the road. It used to stand up on its own. So I'm not sure when the video cut out, but it is, like I said, the afternoon in Texas. And my phone overheated. So I walked home, I got a little baggie of some ice water, tried to cool my phone back down. We're gonna record until it quits recording. And then we're gonna ice it again and then we'll keep going. Here's our rope swing up there, and it turns blue and it's all tangled in there. We used to jump off the rocks right there and up top right there. There used to be another boulder that stuck out of the ground, but I can see it. I don't know if you can see it with the polarized lenses or not. I have polarized lenses and I can see the rock right there in the water. I don't know if that's where it was or maybe it shifted a little, but if you look real close, you can see that the branch is actually broken. So even if we untangle it all, the rope swing did not survive. You can see there's debris all the way up in that tree, and then that big piece of oak right there is not attached to the tree, I don't believe. So like, that's a branch that we need to get up there, yeah, and rip out of that tree so it doesn't come crashing down at some point. Here's some more. Now, these are just big old piles of trees right on the floor. Again, not a major hazard, but I'd like to get them cleaned up. The grass grows long enough, if I don't get a chance to mow, they might disappear. That would put a hurting on some front suspension if you clipped it. Here's one that's a real big problem. So it's snapped off right there. It's a V, and it's hung up in this other tree, like not by much, by this little tree right here. There's a branch right there. Here's the other side of that thing. It's just hanging there. So I think, I don't know what the right move is, but I'm guessing there's another little one to, there's a big old stump right there. There's just stuff everywhere. Throw a rope. Golly, guys, I can't even finish talking before I find more. There's a big old branch that's broken. There's a huge log right there in that tree. This is the first time I'm really paying attention. I knew it was a problem, but I'm actually looking for the problems, and that is a huge problem. Look at that giant guy there. It goes this way and that way, and it's hung on that oak right over the road. This is where we were hauling the trees out of. That's that tree right there. That's that mess there. We were hauling the trees across and up the road that way. This is right overhead now. My thought is maybe we can make a grapple of some sort out of some rebar or something, or we can get some rope, rope with a rock on it, see if we can't sling over it. I don't really know. Nobody's coming to clean any of this up. This is all up to us to clean. I just want to show you guys all this giant stuff. I mean, that wasn't there before. That thing is massive. I don't even know. Maybe just try and push it off and let it fall in the water. The river's right down there. Lost it again. Camera overheated. But we got this long, skinny guy right here, all over, and then right above our head, that big old chunk right there to get rid of. But there's another piece at my feet here. There's a lot of loose stuff on the floor. Not a big deal. It's the, jeez, there it is again. It's the big giant pieces up in the trees. That's got me worried. That's a whole piece of a tree right there, all the way off up there. I need to chain up that and yank it out of this tree. Try and stand here in the shade and just zoom in what we're looking at so the phone doesn't overheat again, but there's all that to clean up. Can't see it from, well, maybe you can see it, but right here is our, there's a swing. Trees down here. There's a whole tree over there that actually blocks the way the road wants to go. And then all of this right here blocks where the tree wants to go. Right here, let's get this zoomed back out. We're going in the sun again. This whole tree right there was actually up in the tree, and I came down 2 days later and it was down out of the tree. So things are already starting to fall out of these trees. We need to come through and get them out of the trees. I'm 99% sure that this big old tree does not belong here. I think it's all tangled up in all this, but I don't believe it's still pretty green. I don't know how fast it can root again or how long it can last, but I believe it was actually like over here. You couldn't, like, this hill wasn't so open. It had a tree over it, like over what we're looking at right now. I think it's that one. So I think this thing slid across the bank, got pushed over, and so we'll need to try and get that out of there. It's way too big to just pull. We're gonna have to cut it out. That big old branch there is detached. That's crazy. So from here, the water was all the way up there where the sky meets the dirt over there. That's how high the water was where we're at. Our stairs did not really survive. Water's a little murky still, but our beach is nice and clean. This is actually, this got higher. This was lower. It went, and there was small rocks at the bottom of these 2 cement stairs that are here. Just 2. All the rest were all dirt. But there is also like a little cove right here, and all the water would pile up right here and then force itself over to that side and then run down that side. So it's pretty, there's a lot of water still actually. I believe that this is more than what we normally have. The depth seems right, but how wide and how fast it's moving does not seem right. These look like they've been in the water for a while, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the water pressure was just so strong it stripped the bark. I'm sure it was. More stuff above our head. That's the stuff I'm really worried about. I'd love to get this stuff out of here. You know, it's hanging over the road and looks like a bunch of dirt piled up underneath it. A lot of work ahead of us. I'm not trying to take attention away from the real tragedy that happened upriver. I'm not trying to distract from that. I'm not trying to capitalize on that. Just showing you guys the chores we gotta do. After all that water came through, it left quite the path of destruction even where we're at. Thankfully, there's no loss of life or property right here, but we still have a mess to clean up, basically, like a dangerous situation with all that stuff up in the trees. I don't know, that's what I wanted to show you. That's just kind of foreshadowing into what we got coming up. Again, my phone's overheating. Done candling. We had 30 eggs to start with. Now we only have 21 that are bred. They showed some signs of development, and these 9 here are unbred. So this is, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Just found it on Amazon, seemed to have good reviews. It's got a cool, you know, it's keeping temperature there. It's got humidity, how many days we have left, It's in the process of auto turning the eggs. Got this water bottle. So other incubators we've borrowed from people, and it didn't have the candling light on it. We just used like a flashlight, and we never had as good of results as with this candling light. It was pretty awesome to be able to see all that development and know what eggs are good and what eggs are bad. After running the snake off the next morning, there was only 7 eggs left from the 13 that were there, 12 or 13. So we went ahead and brought the guinea eggs in and put them in the incubator. It's probably not the right timing, may not even be the right temperature, but better than just letting them all get eaten, so hopefully they still hatch.